For the past 3 to 4 years, our neighbors have lived behind us. It's strange, really. In all that time, I've only seen the wife once. The husband, however, is impossible to miss. He's in his late 50s or early 60s, with thin, long white hair and about 30 pounds overweight. He always wears a retro Bulls jacket and slacks, which somehow makes him look even creepier. Every single morning when I leave for work, he's out walking his dog. When I come home, he's doing the same. It's like he's on some bizarre schedule that revolves around our comings and goings. There's something about the way he stares. Often he walks right along the property line between our houses and gazes into our bay window. It's unnerving, to say the least. One day, my brother and his 2 little kids were visiting. We were sitting on the front porch getting ready to walk to the park to play basketball when he walked up to us. He started talking to my niece and nephew, asking strange questions and generally giving off creepy vibes. My brother and I tried to steer the conversation. We asked him a few times what his dog's name was, but he seemed caught off guard. He never answered us, always dodging the question and continuing to talk to the kids. His behavior was so off-putting that we cut our conversation short and left for the park. In the summer, my mom likes to lay in the backyard tanning in her bikini. She's caught him staring at her through a gap in the bushes that separate our properties on the eastern side. It's unsettling to think of his eyes watching her, hidden among the leaves. Our workout room has a door to the backyard. Sometimes I go out there to take a few hits from my bowl. One night it was raining, and visibility was virtually non-existent. I went out for a few hits and heard this creepy whistling. It was especially eerie because it was so close and in the midst of the rain. So fucking sketchy. I slammed the door, locked it, and checked all the doors in the house after that. It didn't stop there. Whenever I drive past him while he's walking his dog, he stares at me until I'm out of view. The entire time, every single time. I know this because I check my mirrors to see if he's still staring. And he always is. It's like he's trying to bore holes into the back of my head with his gaze. One evening, as I was coming home, I noticed something unusual. My mom was out, and my brother and his kids were visiting again. I parked my car and walked to the front door, only to find the creepy neighbor standing in our driveway, staring at my brother's car. He looked startled when he saw me and quickly walked away, his dog trotting behind him. Later that night, my brother mentioned that the neighbor had approached him again, asking strange questions about our family. We were all on edge. What did he want from us? Why was he so interested in our lives? I decided to take matters into my own hands. I installed security cameras around the house, making sure to cover all angles, especially the backyard. I wanted to catch him in the act, to have proof of his strange behavior. A few nights later, I was reviewing the footage when I saw something that made my blood run cold. The cameras had caught him standing just beyond the bushes, watching my mom as she tanned during the day. But that wasn't the worst part. Later that night, he was back, standing in our yard, looking directly into the camera with a sinister smile on his face. I called the police, but there wasn't much they could do. He hadn't committed any crimes. Yet. They advised us to stay vigilant and report any further incidents. We were living in a constant state of fear, not knowing what he would do next. Then came the night that changed everything. It was late, and I was up working on my computer when I heard a noise outside. I checked the cameras and saw him, standing at the back door trying to get in. My heart pounded in my chest as I called the police, whispering into the phone so he wouldn't hear me. Suddenly, there was a loud crash. He had broken a window and was trying to climb inside. I grabbed a baseball bat and moved towards the sound, ready to defend my home. The police were on their way, but I had to hold him off until they arrived. I rounded the corner and came face to face with him. He froze, his eyes wide with madness. "What do you want?" I shouted, my voice trembling with fear and anger. He didn't answer. Instead, he lunged at me, and I swung the bat with all my might. He fell to the ground unconscious. I backed away, my hands shaking. Moments later, the police arrived and took him into custody. They found a knife in his pocket and a notebook filled with detailed observations about our family. He had been watching us for months, planning something sinister. The next day, we learned the truth. He had a history of mental illness and had been obsessed with the idea that we were spying on him. He believed that my mom, my brother, and I were all part of a grand conspiracy against him. The police assured us that he would be getting the help he needed and wouldn't be allowed near us again. But the damage was done. We could never shake the feeling of being watched, the fear that someone could invade our lives so easily. As this terrifying tale reveals, sometimes the scariest monsters are the ones living right next door. Always trust your instincts and remember to stay vigilant.